and KURV.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
Jeff Malden, GM, Bert Ogden, Subaru. Kia and Subaru, they're very popular with our winter Texan families. Why is that, Jeff?
Well, I was kind of surprised what I've come to understand in talking with them as far as like our Kia brand is concerned, because of the outstanding warranty that they come with a 5-year, 60,000 mile limited warranty, and then a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. A lot of them really like that and peace of mind and that coverage, plus the price points. A lot of these cars are very inexpensive, and a lot of these visitors are on budgets, and they don't want to spend money that they don't have to. These are retirees. Most of these cars, like our Sportage, Souls, and things like that, they're small crossovers. They're more elevated than sedans, so they're easier to get in and out of. It's easier on their backs, hips, and knees, and things of that nature. Plus, there's plenty of room for them to carry another couple with them, because it seems inevitable that they travel in packs. They've got plenty of room to carry somebody else with them, and then them being crossovers, they've got the room to fold down back seats and so forth and fill up all the stuff that they need when they go out shopping. And for those reasons, I've noticed that the Kia is very popular, and then the Subaru, because a lot of them come out of winter climates. If they're going to travel back and forth and take the vehicles with them, it serves them well when they're back up north, if they're all-wheel drives. Same logic. Crossovers, easier to get in and out of, lots of space. And again, a very, very high reliability and durability ratings on those Subarus. I see a lot of them at this time of the year in our service departments. We're glad to see them. We're glad that they patronize our dealerships and continue to buy our products.
Give me directions to Bert Ogden Subaru.
Bert Ogden Subaru is located at the corner of U.S. Business 281 and Trenton Road. We're easily accessible there. If you're coming up the expressway on 281, just exit Trenton and go west. Kia and Mazda dealership are located at the corner of Sherry Road and Expressway 83 here in Sherryland.
Visit bertogden.com. Look for the Subaru brand. Visit bertogden.com and choose your vehicle.
From the R Communications Broadcast Center in McAllen, Texas, this is a News Talk 710 KURV special.
Who's that special?
This is KURV Community Special Edition, powered by Bert Ogden and Fiesta dealerships of the Rio Grande Valley.
We have a very special guest.
Here's Sergio Sanchez.
Appreciate you tuning in. Another news special on News Talk 710 KURV. And we're simulcasting on Classic 92.7 FM, South Padre Island. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with the KURV crew. I'm a guest host, Davis Rankin, as Cantu behind the scenes, taking care of all the online information. And that's where we can accumulate your questions or comments in this special Shop Local news special. Post your comments and questions at News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live. We'll go fish for those questions here pretty soon. Our guest this afternoon, Alexis Alanis with Downtown Harlingen, also Esmeralda Villareal, Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, Marsh Green with Bert Ogden Fiesta Dealerships, and our friend Steve Ahlenius from the McAllen Chamber of Commerce. Let me pitch to Davis Rankin. I know he wants to lead the day's program with a question for our Brownsville Chamber. Go ahead, Davis.
Ms. Villareal, what's your chamber doing to support local business?
Hi, well, first of all, thank you for the invitation in today's program. Mm-hmm. We, at a local level, through our chamber, in collaboration with the city of Brownsville and both of their economic development corporations, have established a COVID-19 rapid response small business assistance program. With that said, we initiated this program the latter part of March of this year, and we're currently about to end phase 2 of this program. And what we've actually done, we've been able to contact close to a little over 900 businesses, made 13,000 calls, and spent close to 8,000 hours. This has given us an ability to better understand the need of our business community. And with that, we've been educated and trained to assist them with all kinds of different programs, and of course, grants available at a federal, local, and state level too.
Ms. Esme, has your membership, have the roles thinned a bit as a result of COVID-19?
We have seen our membership overall being negatively impacted through this pandemic, from adjusting to the new norm and overall becoming more innovative and futuristic, but also as an organization that are at heart networkers and have platforms to connect these businesses and grow their business, it has limited them to have that exposure. Yet, as we become more innovative too, as an organization, we've come out with different programs to better promote these businesses and allow them to still have exposure and grow even through the difficult times.
Let me go to Marsha Green. She's with our friends and family over at Burt Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships. By the way, Marsha, you and all the crew out there, thank you so much for your continued support of 710 KURV and media through this COVID season. These news specials, very informative and different topics and dealing with medicine and vaccines and economic issues. Today, we're looking at retail and business here in the Rio Grande Valley. Of course, your opinion, very useful. I want to give folks perspective how big the Burt Ogden family is when it comes to employment, just basic economic impact in the area, because it's a big organization, one of the top employers. Go ahead, Marsha.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much to the whole panel and everyone for having us as a part of this. And we wouldn't miss the opportunity to be able to support the community for the information that you share. It's just very vital for all of us. And yeah, I've seen the company grow. We are hovering around 1,100 employees. And this is a really great opportunity to break the news that we've broken ground on a new dealership for our EV, our Cadillac, and that's going to be the electric vehicle. So that'll employ even more. Very nice. So that might add an additional 50 or so. So it's another exciting move for us.
Part of the jockeying for position in the retail market, I know this is a reality for especially the car market. I hear this so often. Folks go north to, they think it's greener pastures going north. Tell me about how that's really not the case. I've found that to be true personally. And of course, the advantages that we all benefit from by staying in the Rio Grande Valley and making a purchase.
That's exactly right, Sergio. And I call it the ripple effect. And it's not just a one item process. You've got to step back to the very beginning of where this all happens. I mean, we've got employees, positions where that person configures the car, he orders it, he puts it into the process. That car comes down, there's somebody that preps that car, cleans that car, and today sanitizes that car. There's somebody that stocks it in, takes the pictures. This car, from start to the finish, when the keys are handed off to the customer, it can touch as many as 11 to maybe 12 different people, because there's all kind of accounting, financing, every aspect from start to finish is a whole lot more involved than just one person. You support, of those 11 to 12 people, all of them have families. And so some have minimum wage positions, and then some are a little higher, and everything in between. So it's just really critical for us to always keep our dollars right here in the Valley.
We're focusing on Shop Local this coming holiday season, hoping that you help support our friends, family, neighbors in the Rio Grande Valley and look for some of the nice things that they have this coming Thanksgiving and Christmas season. And let me go back to Davis Rankin. I know he has a question over for Steve. Steve Ahlenius at the McAllen Chamber. Go ahead, Davey.
Steve, do you happen to know how big the retail sales market is in the Rio Grande Valley, and maybe what percentage of that McAllen has, out of curiosity?
I can speak to what McAllen has, which is probably close to $4 billion in retail sales. So it's a big part of the economy, and obviously we continue to see, as we've gone through this pandemic, as restrictions have been in place and then lifted, some of the impact that's had on local businesses. And as I've mentioned before, we've been surveying our members and surveying the business community. And what we've seen is, and you saw it recently in the news where they talked about the number of businesses that went out of business even after they received the PPP loan. And so they continue to see those businesses struggle, especially as we're starting to face a possible second wave of COVID-19. And so we continue to see and wanting to see those businesses be successful. And one of those key drivers, obviously, is Mexico. And you get into the challenge. What you see happening in El Paso, Texas, and Juarez, that there's kind of this finger pointing back and forth between the two cities, saying, your city is the reason why we're spiking in COVID-19 cases. But eventually, we've got to get to that place where non-essential Mexican nationals can travel back and shop here. That's a critical component to our overall retail strategy. And Mexico, for all our communities along the border, continues to play an important role.
Is it safe to say, Steve, that if McAllen is around $4 billion, and we've known traditionally through the years that our city of Brownsville has been around half of that, right now it's grown so much, it's more than half of that. So I guess if you accumulate everyone, we're around, what would you say, safely 8 billion, 9 billion?
I would say, I think you're talking $9 to $10 billion in retail sales across the Rio Grande Valley. And you got to recognize we are a consumer economy. And that is a big part of where the money is spent and how the money is spent. And obviously you want to support that with success with small local businesses, and then also the big boxes that come into the market.
Alexis, Alanis with downtown Harlingen. We appreciate you participating today. We're focusing again, folks, on Shop Local. This is a KURV news special, News Talk 710 KURV. Also simulcast on Classic 92.7 on South Padre Island for our Cameron County family. Alexis, I know that downtown Harlingen is a draw for Winter Texans. That market has changed this year as well, because we're seeing a smaller number of Winter Texans come down here because, in part, Canada is closed. But give us a sense of some of the activities around the corner for downtown Harlingen. Try to get some locals go out there and shop.
Sure, of course. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. This year, more than ever, our small businesses need support as they begin to recover from this devastating financial impact caused by this pandemic. And to show your support, we will be having a Shop Small Saturday sidewalk sale on November 28th from 10 a.m. to 2. This is a nationwide event for Small Business Saturday with American Express. And, all we're asking and reminding people is to take their usual precautions during this pandemic to help play it safe, but also to make sure that everyone's still having fun and having a safe time in our downtown area, just because our small businesses have struggled, this past year now that we're going through this pandemic, and our small businesses need you all. And that is where we're going to kick off our holiday season with Shopping Small Saturday on November 28th from 10 a.m. to 2. So we invite everybody out to come and shop local with us in downtown Harlingen.
I recall year to year having a lot of fun with different downtown directors on the Jackson Street, the markets, and all those things. Are we doing that this year, or are we taking a pause because of COVID?
So Jackson Street Marketings is postponed until further notice. We're kind of just playing it out or waiting to see, as this progresses and gets better with this pandemic. But a lot of people are eager to get back, and we can't wait to get back in a safe way.
In Harlingen has changed so much now with that special event center near the interchange and hotel and retail, not only evolving, but you're getting a lot of more national names that we haven't seen before for Harlingen.
Yes, of course. Our downtown Harlingen, the city of Harlingen, is growing, and we're wanting to make downtown Harlingen a destination as well. So that way people, while they stay there in the city of Harlingen, they can also come out and shop local, and, all these other nationwide businesses that are opening up, such as Bass Pro Shop. That's one of our good, attractions there in the city of Harlingen, but we're really growing, and we can't wait to welcome guests into our beautiful city of Harlingen.
Let me go back to Esmeralda Villareal, Esme Villareal, Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. There's a balancing act, Ms. Esme, that has to take place at the chamber, any chamber office, and hoping to see the expansion of retail in the community, but also supporting local business. I can tell you in my frequent trips to Brownsville to see friends over the Port of Brownsville, one of our supporters out there. I'll give you an example. The Kmart store that's empty, right? I see them working. They're doing something, right? And they're always, do you still hear the phone ringing from interested parties trying to set up shop, new names? I know you can't share any names with us, but where there's a little bit of empty retail space, is the phone still active, hoping to open up in Brownsville here in the near future?
Absolutely. In fact, the city of Brownsville has been very aggressive in collaboration with both EDCs locally here and have, continued to attempt to attract companies to come and open their business here in Brownsville. In fact, you mentioned the empty Kmart building, and it's no secret that Hobby Lobby is coming to that area. And there are multiple, of course, different companies that are interested at the moment in just relocating to Brownsville. And yes, the phone does continue to ring. We're happy that it rings. In fact, this week we received multiple calls of companies that are interested in coming down. Though a attraction to Brownsville continues to be SpaceX, and of course, multiple companies that are coming to the Port of Brownsville. In fact, this morning we got notice that the Port of Brownsville was now ranked as number 2 in the U.S. for value of exports. So they were ranked number 4, 3, and now 2. So that's also a great exposure, not only to Brownsville, but to the region. When companies relocate, they think region, and of course, it impacts everyone as a whole, from job creation and of course, taxes and whatnot. But Brownsville continues to be very aggressive and open for business, absolutely. So we welcome everyone to call us here at the Chamber, and we will connect them, of course, to the City of Brownsville and to our EDC.
Well, despite the COVID season, we are continuing to see an economic transformation and a revolution taking place in the Rio Grande Valley, thanks in part, and large part, to the Port of Brownsville and the potential for massive amounts of private investment at the port, billions of dollars potentially coming from liquefied natural gas near future. I know other business interests are positioning for that, and the continued business at the port, and of course SpaceX putting us in a good limelight as far as news reports. It's now 23 minutes after the hour. You're listening to another KURV news special. The focus right now, shop local. Our guest, Alexis Alanis from downtown Harlingen, Marsha Green with Bert Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships, Steve Ahlenius from the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, and Esme Villareal from the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. Your questions, comments, welcome right now. Online, though, you need to go to Facebook, News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live, and post your comment there. We're broadcasting on Classic 92.7 FM. News special, shop local, News Talk 710 KURV, made possible today by Bert Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
Jeff Malden, Bert Ogden Subaru.
We pride ourselves in providing the safest and cleanest environment for our customers and for our employees. We have our facilities cleaned 3 times a week when we're closed in the evenings. We've got very strict protocols on masks. We take all employees and customers' temperatures when they come in. They're submitted to a questionnaire to make sure that they haven't had any symptoms, haven't felt sick, haven't been around anybody that's been exposed. We want to make sure that we're protecting not only our consumers, but our employees. We make sure that we wipe down the surfaces of all of our common touch points, handles, doors, desk areas, things like that, before and after every transaction, as well as constantly throughout the day. We've got dedicated staff that's all they do. On top of that, we put in protective measures in cars when we're taking them in for service, bringing them back. We sanitize the interiors of the car before our techs get in them and before they're returned to our consumers. So we want to make sure that we're providing them the cleanest, safest environment for them to get their work. We value the trust that they put in us, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to protect them.
When you go to bertogden.com, take us through the process. What do we see? How do we choose?
Well, the first thing you want to do is once you're at the website, you can select the manufacturer that you're interested in, and we've got all of our brands represented there. Once you've done that, you're allowed to select the new and used vehicles within that franchise. You can sort them by equipment. You can sort them by trim levels, models. When you select a specific vehicle that you're interested in, that's where you get the options to value your trades, get pre-approved, and start the financing process. All along the way, you'll have an opportunity to have a digital chat. We've got assistance available 24/7 to aid customers in finding the right vehicle and answering any questions throughout the process. Our team of specialists will reach out to them either via email or phone based on their preference, and continue to answer questions and guide them through the process if they've got any issues or any questions.
Choose the brand and choose your vehicle at bertogden.com.
Your Fox News station for the Valley. This is News Talk 710 KURV.
Time is 4:26. News Talk 710 KURV and Classic 92.7 FM, South Padre Island, for all our family in Cameron County. You're listening to a KURV news special. shop local. I'm Sergio Sanchez. Let me go back to Davis Rankin. Go ahead, David.
This question is to Steve Ahlenius. We've talked about this a number of times with him on KURV. Do local businesses, and I'm not sure whether that's a small restaurant or something big, have to have an online presence to compete now against, what's the default that people think of when they think of internet competition or online competition?
Great question, Davis. Obviously, COVID-19 has showed us that there are a lot of different business models that can be used to make money. And if you're using only one single business model, such as a brick and mortar, where you expect your customers to come in, you're missing an opportunity to do stuff online, because that opens up a whole new market, both nationally and possibly even internationally for that business. And so what we have seen is in the last 8 months, a lot of businesses, retail businesses, have recognized they needed to have an online presence. There's been a dramatic move to being able to do that. And so to me, it just gives them another venue to make money, another platform to make money. Marshall will talk to you about the car dealership. There's lots of different ways for them to make money. And so that's the key, is you don't want to be tied to just one business model. And so the more business models you have that can generate revenue for your business, the more success and the more opportunities you're going to have for success. And I think, the experts told us that the online transition would happen over the next 5 or 6 years. And I think we saw it happen in 5 to 6 months. I'm anxious to see what online sales are going to be for 2020. 2019, they were about 11% of the total retail sales. The experts tell us that eventually online sales will be only 30% of the total retail sales, with 70% of that still coming in person, where people want to go in, touch, feel, try on, see what they're buying. So there's still opportunities for brick and mortar, but I think there's also opportunities to have other business models that can help you make money.
That's Steve Ahlenius from the McAllen Chamber of Commerce. So the economic index that you put together on a regular basis, Steve, car sales, one of those indices that you look at and you monitor: home sales, construction, retail activity. Just a quick reflection in this COVID season, who took it on the chin? And I can tell you who's been benefiting most from this. Home sales is through the roof right now, but who took it on the chin the most as far as this COVID season?
Obviously, Sergio, as we talked about 3 or 4 years ago, there was a surge in a lot of commercial construction. You saw a lot of strip shopping centers being built and going in place. And you're seeing a pullback now from that. You're not going to see the same number of construction dollars going into that. And then there's also a rethinking about actual retail space. How big do I really need to be in order to compete? And so you're seeing a change there. Obviously, car sales have really hung in there. And I think that speaks to consumer confidence. Outside of your home, car sales is kind of the next big purchase that a person makes. And I know as I've looked at the numbers, you continue to see strong car sales. And I think that's a good indicator of the regional economy we have and how well it's doing.
Time now is 4:30. You are listening to another news special from News Talk 710 KURV. We're simulcasting on Classic 92.7 FM. We're focusing on Shop Local, hoping that you and friends and family support our local businesses this coming holiday season. Your questions, comments, welcome at our Facebook Live broadcast, News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live. Our panelists today: Alexis, Alanis, downtown Harlingen. You heard Steve Ahlenius from the McAllen Chamber of Commerce. A big thank you also to Villareal, Miss Esmeralda Villareal from the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, and Marcia Green and all the family at Burt Ogden Fiesta Dealerships. And a special thanks to them for their support of this special news broadcast. Again, your questions, comments, welcome at News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live. The time is 4:31. The news is next.
Top and bottom of the hour news. This is News Talk 710 KURV.
4:31 on News Talk 710 KURV. Good afternoon. I'm Tim Sullivan. New York City is shutting down schools to try to stop a resurgence of the coronavirus. It is a painful about-face for one of the first big U.S. school systems to bring students back to the classrooms this fall. The mayor and school's chancellor announcing today that school buildings will close tomorrow. Vaccine maker Pfizer says it's in regular communication with President-elect Joe Biden's transition team as part of ongoing efforts to keep all parties updated on its coronavirus vaccine and distribution. Biden Chief of Staff Ron Klain says the transition team plans to keep meeting with Pfizer and other vaccine makers as President Trump continues to stall the formal transition process to a new administration. It appears Nancy Pelosi will return as Speaker of the House. House Democrats have voted to nominate Pelosi again during a closed caucus meeting. A full House vote on the speakership will happen in early January. Pelosi will likely lead the slimmest Democratic House majority since World War II, after Republicans made gains in November's elections. The devastation caused by Hurricane Iota is becoming clear as communications are restored after the second Category 4 hurricane in 2 weeks to blast Nicaragua's Caribbean coast. The death toll in Nicaragua is up to 11, with victims swept away by swollen rivers or buried in landslides. After nearly 2 years and a pair of deadly crashes, the Federal Aviation Administration is clearing Boeing 737 MAX for flight. The nation's air safety agency announced the move today.
Who wants to go first?
It was done after a comprehensive and methodical 20-month review process. Regulators around the world grounded the MAX in March of last year after the crash of an Ethiopian Airlines jet, which was less than 5 months after another MAX flown by Indonesia's Lion Air plunged into the Java Sea. A total of 346 passengers and crew members were killed. Wall Street today, the Dow Jones closed down 345 points. NASDAQ fell 98, and the S&P 500 dropped 42. Your 710 KURV exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Mostly clear and mild tonight, lows around 60. Partly sunny, a little warmer tomorrow with a high of 86, and right now it's 84 at 710 KURV. News at the top and bottom of the hour, and when it breaks, and on demand at KURV.com. I'm Tim Sullivan, 710 KURV.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
Jeff Malden, Bert Ogden Subaru, and Volvo. Let's talk about the Volvo brand. Start to finish, you can go to bertogden.com, click on that specific brand, and then do the deep dive and go see pictures of all the different vehicles that you take off the trucks.
Correct. And I mean, once you've selected your vehicle, there's an opportunity there for you to buy online or buy now. When you collect that button, it gives you payment calculations. It gives you an opportunity to look at warranty products and other insurance products to protect the vehicle's windshield or tires and wheels. Also gives you an opportunity to input your current vehicle information for a trade-in and give you a value for that. And then you're able to input your own credit information if you know your credit score. That allows you to then calculate either a lease or a purchase payment. Allows you to select the amount of down payment that you want to use. And if you're comfortable with that number, then it allows you to take the next step to actually a complete credit application and formally submit the application to a lender for approval. Within a matter of minutes, you'll get a response back with an interest rate and an exact approval. And at that point, we reach out to the customers from the dealership standpoint, contact them, congratulate them on their purchase, and find out if they want to come in and finalize the paperwork at our store, if they want us to bring the vehicle to them. It's pretty straightforward. It's extremely convenient. Like I said before, many customers are now choosing to take that option and alleviate the hours that they have to spend at a conventional dealership during a conventional transaction.
You take so many detailed pictures and provide so much detail on the amenities and the creature comforts that are available in the vehicles.
Oh, yeah. The average vehicle we've got posted online has anywhere from 40 to 50 pictures. And a lot of times you can even merge those all together into a video. So it gives you kind of a full action motion. You're able to see a detailed description of the vehicle to make sure that it's got all of the components. And in many cases, you're able to click on a link that will show you the full window sticker. So you can make sure that specific packages and option groups that you're looking for are included on the vehicle that you're interested in. We've got online consultants via chat or via email that can answer any questions and ensure that the vehicle that the customer selected is in fact exactly what they want, what they need, and has all of the equipment that's important to them.
With locations in Edinburgh and Mission, Jeff Malden is General Manager of Bert Ogden Subaru, Mazda, and Kia. Visit bertogden.com.
the Valley's only News Talk station. News Talk 710 KURV.
KURV News Time. It's 4:36. You're also listening to Classic 92.7 FM, South Padre Island, for all our family in Cameron County. This is a KURV news special. Today's focus is our local business, restaurants, retailers, shop local, hoping that you and our neighbors here in the Valley will help protect our Rio Grande Valley businesses. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with Davis Rankin. Our panelists today, on behalf of the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, is Steve Ahlenius, Villareal with the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, Marsha Green with Bird Ogden Fiesta Leaderships. They are our continuous supporter here of the Rio Grande Valley KURV talk station, and Alexis Alanis with downtown Harlingen. Let me ask Esme Villareal from the Brownsville Chamber. I know that of the hundreds, you said like 900 businesses you've been able to support and thousands of phone calls that you made. You've done dozens and dozens of webinars as well, Esme. Is there a dominant topic or a couple of topics from all these webinars, local businesses pressing you to try to get some answers? I'm thinking probably lending issues would be one. Also, how to onboard and start doing some online sales. Is that it, or is there something else that's dominant from local businesses?
Actually, you're absolutely correct. In fact, the majority of the actual needs through these conversations held where, financial sustainability, most importantly, and also we've discovered that many of our businesses did not have a contingency plan. And how do you move forward, through the pandemic and beyond? So coming with actual webinars in which we can educate them of really creating that business plan, sticking to that business plan and moving forward. And most importantly, learning their financials. We've discovered that many of our small businesses typically don't know how to properly read or create a P&L or a balance sheet. And these are, requirements in order to apply for federal loans or state or even local grants out there. And we've taken the task to better educate them, not only through the chamber, but we've actually partnered with UTRGB through their SBDC department and others, in which they have been guiding these businesses through free counseling sessions. Aside from the actual financial factor, many of them, are looking for ways to become relevant during these times. As Steve mentioned, we were thinking that innovative and becoming innovative and the need of the internet would be in years to come. So it did happen, like Steve well said, in 5-6 months, it's here. So unfortunately, and I said unfortunately, we here in the Lower Rio Grande Valley, especially the city of Brownsville, we're one of the least connected cities in the United States. What that means is that the city of Brownsville is now collaborating with 7 other community partners and are creating a broadband digital divide survey. We as an organization, through our COVID-19 program, have reached out to all businesses to take this survey and better understand the needs. Is it a lack of resources, lack of infrastructure, or is it just that we unfortunately are not at that level to invest in these type of features? So there's a lot of different needs that we discovered through all these conversations, but of course, it's sustainability, better planning, having a business plan, understanding financials, and of course, becoming relevant through online sales.
I would imagine those themes are very consistent at other Chamber of Commerce. Let me, Davey, I hear you. Because I forgot to ask Alexis this question earlier. Managing downtown and the traffic coming in and out of downtown, Alexis Alanis, downtown Harlingen, could you quickly review some of the new arrivals? I know we had some folks closed, but new arrivals downtown Harlingen.
Yes, so I know we had mentioned before, that a lot of the houses have been, going for sale, and they've been buying houses, but also they've been buying commercial spaces in our downtown area as well. During this whole pandemic, we had 3 big, buildings that got sold and have brought in these new businesses that are coming into downtown. And there's a diversity of those businesses coming in where men can go and get their haircuts, and drink a beer while their wives are shopping. We also have a Mid-Valley Creations. She's out of San Benito, but her big retail store is going to be downtown Harlingen, where she sells authentic Mexican she does it herself, art pieces. Other than that, we have SOG International, a staffing and marketing agency that's going to be coming into their downtown area, as also Senator Eddie Lucio office is going to be in our downtown area as well. So we are very excited to welcome them to our downtown area. We're a one-stop shop there in downtown where everybody can go and get their necessities for a date night or a business trip, or even their weddings. We have from salons to tuxedo places, to beauty shops too as well. So we're a one-stop shop there downtown.
Date night? What is that? It would be nice to see one of those.
We're all married people. We're all happily married people.
Amen. Back to you, David. What you got?
Sergio, you got to actually spend money on a date night.
If we're unhappily married, this is not the place to talk about it. I'm wondering if this COVID thing has revealed weaknesses in businesses which they didn't know they had. My guess is the chains. The chains are in a different situation when it comes to whether they're local franchisees or whether they're owned by headquarters, are in a different situation than standalones or even somebody like the Bert Ogden dealership, which is a single business in a sense, owned by Steve. Can you tell me, and the lady in Brownsville, has this revealed weaknesses that were there and maybe people died off as a consequence? Which, if true, is there a way for people to go get informed about how they can, if they're still alive, how they can prevent it from happening again?
Yeah, absolutely, Davis. Obviously, there are challenges, whether you're a big national chain, and we've seen a numerous number of national retail businesses declare bankruptcy, go out of business. And what you typically see, and if there's an underlying issue, it's the amount of debt that they're carrying, whether it's a small local retail business or a big national retail business. If they're loaded up with debt and you then have a hiccup in the economy, they don't survive. It's much harder to survive because all the pieces have to line up in a good economy. And then when things take a pivot, then all of a sudden they're reduced.
The banks want to get paid.
Yeah, there's a number of people who go into a store, going online. And so some of the same challenges are there, whether you're a big national retail or a small independent retail shop. If you're a nice to have, there's a good opportunity that they're going to go someplace else. But if you're a business that solves a problem that your customers got to have, then there's going to be opportunities for you in this marketplace. And then the next thing is, people want to do business with people that they know. And so the challenge is, how do you develop those relationships with your customers? And small independent businesses really have an advantage over the big box merchants because they develop long-term relationships. If you look at Bert Ogden, their success is driven by a long-term relationship with customers that they've known for decades, not just years, but for decades, and that people want to do business with. And so those are great examples of what, the advantages that a small business have versus a large big box retailer has. But if there's an underlying issue, I would say a tremendous amount of debt causes a lot of problems for any size business.
Very quickly, Ms. Villareal in Brownsville, is that your experience too? Debt's the killer?
Absolutely. In fact, we know of many of these businesses that we contacted that they had an opportunity and could apply for these loans, and they decided not to simply because they were afraid of the unknown. They were afraid of, what if I ask for a loan and I can't repay it because I'm not able to gain those customers, as Steve mentioned. So many of these businesses decided not to. In fact, we learned that many of these business owners also utilize their savings in order to survive, simply because they were so afraid of asking for this loan and not being able to repay. So one of the findings through these past months is that our businesses definitely have become resilient and definitely have been able to reinvent themselves. We now see that, we've actually had businesses that have come to the chamber that don't know how to access a scanner or a video or even an email. So what that tells us is that there's a need to better educate and connect. But it's also an opportunity because these businesses now have Facebook pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube accounts. They actually have partnered with other restaurants, perhaps other retail stores, and everyone has come together, even though they're apart, but they come together by promoting that other business by tagging them. So we do see how the community has really come together and supported small businesses. I mean, we now see TikTok videos. I mean, we see all kinds of things. And this has really allowed them to have a better reach and for them to be better known. And as also like Steve will mention, and it's about building long-lasting relationships, and small businesses know how to do that very well.
Thank you.
Downtown business areas versus ancillary business areas. It usually seems to be, well, from my perspective, usually a tug of war in the effort to bring in national retailers to developing areas of the city versus propping up and developing a downtown area. And the COVID season, I'm sure even complicates that even more. Downtown McAllen, Steve, how are we doing? And tell me about efforts to try to fill up some of those spaces downtown.
Well, Sergio, obviously the same thing happens in Harlingen. It's always a balance, and you want a good mix because there are folks who want to experience a different type of shopping. You want to go down in historical downtown areas and shop and kind of walk the streets. And then you also want to bring in the national brand names that can lift your sales, your overall sales and their profitability. And so it's really a balancing act between finding that good mix that you bring in the big national chains, but then also support the local small retail businesses, because really what customers are after now is a retail experience. And that includes food, that includes entertainment, and includes the shopping component to it. And so those communities that can find that good mix are going to be the ones that are going to be successful.
Esme, do you think there's a pent-up demand that once we get the all clear and everybody gets a double shot of COVID vaccine and we can all breathe easy, take the masks off, you think there might be a renaissance for some brick and mortar as folks just want to go out? It's nice shopping online and all that, but maybe there's a pent-up demand here we might see in 2021 for local businesses and brick and mortar.
Absolutely. In fact, I think everyone, we can't wait to be out there. We on the border, as border cities, we're all binational, bicultural, and bilingual. We're all about our people. We're all about, building relationships. And, we know that, when we speak to members and non-members, just business community as a whole, everyone wants to be out there. The city of Brownsville has created different ways to, as we now are open, right, our bars have opened and our restaurants in the downtown area, to be able to promote patio areas. And this with the ability to continue to practice CDC guidelines and social distancing, because the pandemic is still present. And we do see that, we may go into a second wave as we see an increase of positive cases as well. But is there definitely a need, and do we look forward to being able to connect again and visit these businesses? Absolutely. I think everyone, is waiting for that to happen. And even, the downtown area here in the city of Brownsville is growing, it's expanding. We do see businesses that have closed through the pandemic, of course, but we also see restaurants that are opening during the pandemic. And of course, practicing different models as to outdoor patios. That is definitely attracting businesses in the downtown area. And as we move forward, I think that's definitely an industry that's going to continue to grow.
You guys keep supporting local restaurants, please, please, please. And for the Brownsville family, you guys go over to Johnny Carino's, please. They shut down the one over here in the McAllen area. I call it lovingly Johnny Cochinos. I love Johnny Carino's. My goodness, all those little garlic little things, the toasted things that they get.
Well, you broke them, Serge. You ate so much free bread, they couldn't afford it anymore. They had to shut it down.
That's why they shut down over here. They opened up. They get the one in Brownsville open. You're listening to a Shop Local news special, News Talk 710 KURV. Our guest today, Alexis, Alanis, downtown Harlingen, Steve Ahlenius, McAllen Chamber, Esmeralda, Esme Villareal from the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, Marcia Green from Bird Dog and Fiesta Leaderships. Davey, I know you got a question for Marcia. We need to go. Go ahead and go your question before we go to break.
Quickly, well, or not, how has coronavirus permanently changed, well, the retail experience, but the retail experience of buying a vehicle?
Oh gosh, that's a long question that I'll try to just change into a succinct answer. We had been starting the whole online process months prior to even being aware that this was something that was building. And that was primarily because of this online shopping frenzy that had started. So we were fortunate that we had a contingency already planned to get this online situation perfected. And so that is something that I think we are going to tune and hone and really continue to strengthen. But you guys had talked about one of the shortages, and as pandemic and COVID infected one person, we had to contact trace, and sometimes a whole department might have been shut down. So we needed to have backup to the backup in employees. And so this has been a situation where we have double trained people in
cross training.
Notable arrivals. I know that Alexis mentioned some folks that arrived downtown Harlingen. Esme, Brownsville, toot your horn. Notable arrivals from Brownsville. Folks need to go shop.
Well, we do know of many different businesses that I'm not able to disclose at the moment because there's still negotiation.
Don't be that way.
Don't listen to Davis, Esme. Go ahead.
They're not listening. They won't know.
So that you mentioned earlier, the Kmart facility, Hobby Lobby, but there's two other tenants that are possibly coming into that building, which we can't wait. It's over 100,000 square footage, you know, and we definitely have the ability to welcome those. But not only that, those specific industries, but as you all know, the LNGs that are potentially, of course, through the process of the permitting process to come into the area, the actual jobs being created, of course, directly and indirectly, which will be thousands. And the Port of Brownsville itself, you know, as being one of the top employers in the region, continues to attract more companies. And with that said, the ability to employ, you know, constituents, not just Brownsville, but all over the region. So there's definitely potential in the city of Brownsville as we continue to grow. There's a lot of different negotiations in place. As I mentioned to you, the phone does not stop ringing, and we have the ability to, here at the chamber, to connect them with the EDCs or with the city of Brownsville. There's definitely interest from our friends, you know, from across. We have a lot of Mexican entrepreneurs that are actually interested in continuing to come and establish their businesses. In fact, through those findings and through these calls, for the fourth time consecutively, we've actually partnered with the Mexican consulate in Brownsville, and we actually create a Foro del Emprendedor apoyando a las pequeñas empresas through COVID-19. What that means is that we bring together a panel of different experts in which will assist these businesses through the process of establishing their business, and also through guide them through the online process for the permitting through the city of Brownsville. So the city of Brownsville continues to, of course, collaborate with others, of course, with the same focus, which is the betterment of the community, job creation, and definitely we're open for business and attracting all you know, businesses that can come and are willing to come to Brownsville. But again, it also speaks about collaboration through the community. Again, through COVID, we've seen such a great and positive change. We have the ability to continue now to collaborate with the city. You know, every single week we meet with the EDCs, with the city of Brownsville. COVID has brought definitely negative things to everyone, of course, globally, but you know, through our community, we've actually become stronger, and we've actually have been able to collaborate in different ways and different opportunities to continue these collaborations beyond the pandemic.
That's Esme Villareal. She's with the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. Steve McAllen, notable arrivals. Let me give you about 30, 45 seconds and a reminder of some of the fun Christmas things around the corner in McAllen.
Absolutely. You know, so you look at, and the best way to answer that is you look at the market and what type of major retail stores do we not have in the marketplace? And those are the type of gaps that we're looking at. You know, obviously at IKEA, you look at those type of stores, stores that we don't have in the marketplace, and how do you attract them? And for each one of us, for each one of these communities, one of the huge advantages we have a very young population that continues to grow, that's gaining higher education credentials. And so the growth that you're going to see over the next 20, 30 years is going to be tremendous in this region just because of the age, which is about, I think the average age is about 29. They're just entering into that major purchasing phase of their lives.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, folks, McAllen, the convention center area with a big Christmas presentation coming up in December, a big parade on the 5th as well for McAllen. Just south of us, Hidalgo, their Festival of Lights as well as you go out shopping. And Esme, just a quick mention of some of the fun activities around the corner for Brownsville for Christmas. Got about 30 seconds.
Sure. So we do have the Zoo Nights and Lights. This year it's going to be Holiday Express through the Gladys Porter Zoo. So we want to continue to invite our community to continue to try and do their traditional events during these holidays, of course, continuing CDC guidelines. So general tickets are available. We welcome everyone to call the Gladys Porter Zoo.
Nice one. It's outdoors too.
We also have, for the first time, we have a cinnamon roll contest for children through our Children's Museum of Brownsville. That's going to be very fun. You know, we can.
You said the magic words, Esme. Cinnamon rolls. I'll be at the Keith Museum. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. This is a Shop Local News Special, 710 KURV. Jeff Malden from Bert Ogden, Subaru. Because of COVID-19, I'm sure some of our seasoned citizens, they don't want to see anybody. So just tell me the process, how they can get a brand new Subaru, no touch.
Well, we've got our digital retailing aspect, so you can actually pick your vehicle online.
We're done for now, right?
All of the credit transactions.
We're done with this.
Submit your application to the bank.
It's Miller time.
For your trade-in.
We can
submit
leave
all
now?
the necessary documentation for
done?
titling, such as driver's license and
And you
insurance.
leave